Hello, Lulu. How are you?
How are you doing?
I am perfect, thank you.
You look radiant. Absolutely
You?
radiant. I enjoy seeing you on Skype after meeting you in person. I remember all those beautiful videos that we have done that went all around the world, and we talked about angels and
That's right.
archangels, and it was a wonderful
Yes.
conversation.
It
So,
was. I really enjoyed it.
and you are so popular. You're so well known in Europe. I'm doing the Juicy Tour Europe. I'm traveling around Europe and interviewing a lot of people, and your name comes up very, very often.
Good.
Why is that?
Because people like angels.
They do. We do, don't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. And because I'm not just into angels, I talk about unicorns, I talk about all the amazing energies coming in now, and what a fantastic opportunity we've got ahead of us, and not just this doom and gloom stuff that people are so keen on.
Yeah. Can you remind us how this happened to you and how you start receiving messages? Was it a long time ago?
It was a very long time ago. It was when I was 42 and I was in total despair and couldn't see a future and was getting divorced. And I threw myself into a chair despite the fact that I had no religious or spiritual background and said, if there's anything out there, help me. And you've got 1 hour. And that's when an angel came in to help me. And despite having no background in it, I knew it was an angel. And that was the starting point for something different happening in my life.
Very different. Yeah. You wrote many books on the orbs, Atlantis, the angels, and I'm very interested about your
Absolutely.
latest
Yeah.
book because a lot of people obviously talk about 2012. We are in 2012. A lot of prophecies point at 2012, but you're writing a book about this golden age, this transition to the golden age, 2000. 32. Oh my goodness, this is the new date. I mean, tell us why, how does this information come through and what is it about?
Well, the information comes to me from my guide and from the angels. And what it's about is saying don't get locked into the forecast of doom because, of course, we are going through a transition. This is like a house move. You've got to clear out your attic and clear out your cellar. And we're going through that in the world right now, which is why we've got uprisings and we've got the economy failing. Everything that's not in alignment with the new paradigm is collapsing. So all the dinosaur businesses that are based on greed and selfishness and just profit, they are all going to fade away so that the new can come in. And the new paradigm is about cooperation, working together, working for the planet. I mean, we've seen an example of the celebration and people working together in the Olympics and Paralympics. And that's what the future is about, joyously expressing ourselves, practicing for our excellence, instead of this business of putting people down and some haves and have nots. And this year we have this extraordinary cosmic moment, which is on the 21st of December, and it's at 11 a.m., wherever you are, local time. And that's a moment when the portals of heaven open and source light bathes us all just for an instant. If you are ready, then it will massively impact on your life and you have huge opportunities for spiritual growth. And of course, if you're not ready, it'll just float over you and you probably won't notice it at all. But it will start to change the world. London is the Earth star chakra of the planet. That's where the Kundalini rises. That's the spiritual essence of the planet. And that's why the Olympic Games was held there, to raise the energy there, to start preparing it. And I have a day there on the 7th of October to really bring the angels in to prepare London so it's ready to move, for the Kundalini to set fire on the 21st of December. And then all the planetary chakras start to open and the whole planet moves into a higher frequency. But this process is taking place over 20 years. It's not just bang and it's done. Every single dark or negative place on the planet is being cleansed. And so by 2032, everywhere you go on the planet will feel pure. You know, when you go to a power spot,
For everybody, Diana, or just the people that are a certain frequency?
if you go to a power spot, to a beauty spot, and you come away, you feel good. It's quiet. And so the whole planet will be like that for everybody. By 2032, those who are not interested in living in peace and harmony will start to leave. And so it will be the people that are higher frequency that want to work together and cooperate that will stay and continue on this planet. And others will move to a planet where they can continue with their frequency. So by 2032, the world will be a very different place. There
Mm-hmm.
will be people living in communities. Things will be built according to feminine principles. You know, at the moment, we've got these square roads and rigid structures. Houses are all square. That's all the masculine energy of the old age. So we're moving into a softer, more feminine, more accepting and loving energy where we honor nature, appreciate the animals, value the animals, and the fact that they're on their own ascension journey, and that we really should be helping them on their journey, not doing what we're doing to them. All these things are going to start coming into the general consciousness so that people start living it.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people speak about their own Kundalini, their own country, and as I'm traveling around the world and through Hawaii, oh, the little doggy, hey doggy, I can see your dog. As I'm traveling around, through Mexico and Hawaii and all those different places, I'm clear that everybody's saying the Kundalini of the earth is here, and this is the earth chakra, and it's here where I live, and everybody is so proud. Hey, you! Hey, you little thing, you're so cute!
She's the best. She's the most gorgeous dog in the whole world, aren't you?
Ah, absolutely adorable.
Off you go. She heard my voice and wondered what I was doing, I expect.
Oh, adorable. So do you know what I mean? Everybody is feels that they're living in this place, and there's a lot of light workers that I have been interviewing that are working on portals, that are working on the karma of the earth and lightening
Absolutely.
up this place. It's happening everywhere.
It is happening everywhere. And what is important to realize is that people go in and they clear the energy from a place, and then other people come in and they dump their stuff there. So it's a continuous process. And the more people that are doing the cleansing and clearing and having ceremonies and bringing in the light, the better. Because we have a choice. The whole planet has to be cleansed, and this can be done, and all the karma cleared. This can be done through earthquakes and fires and hurricanes and things, the weather, or we can do it with sending love and light into the ley lines and changing what's going on ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's our choice.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the Kundalini, why London? Because we hear that it's in Mexico or
London's
in Hawaii, and
Yes, this is the guidance I received from my guide that the Earth Star is in London, everything has been prepared. Now, remember when we're talking about the chakras, there are emotional chakras and spiritual chakras and mental chakras and all sorts of different ones at different levels and dimensions. I am talking about the 12 fifth dimensional spiritual chakras of the planet. So my understanding is that London is the Earth Star and then China is the base chakra, and so it goes on right up until all 12 are open and radiating. But there are lots of other things happening this year, and people are also getting confused with those energies
mm-hmm.
because there are 33 cosmic portals opening, each containing Christ light. And when they start to open, they will radiate this unconditional love energy out into the world. And that means people will unconsciously pick it up and start to be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are pyramids that are going to be opening and starting to access all the information so that people can wake up to the information within them. There are other portals opening that are absolutely awesome, which for the first time will start to radiate their light. So there are masses and masses of energetic happenings taking place
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's being affected.
Yeah. And get this information? Is it through hearing? Are you write and you receive it directly from those angels? Because a lot of people, there's so much information out on the internet that it gets quite confusing for a
I
lot of us. And some people are even saying that some of those channels are not so clear and not so pure,
you
and that's something raising, and people are getting
yeah.
confused of there's so many channels and so many things. So how do you know that this is it?
You raised a very important point here. And I think the answer is if it resonates with you, accept it. If it doesn't resonate, then don't accept it. It's not for you. When I work with Kathy Crosswell, and when we work together, our energy can lift to a higher frequency and we can bring in a higher and purer and clearer channel. And so a lot of the information I've brought through with her when we're together, and that's, I believe, very pure and clear.
These days people are going through like washing machine and a lot of difficulties in their own life. What is your recommendation as to what to do when those happen? Is it part of the process?
It is part of the process because two things are happening. One, everybody has to clear their own stuff. And you can think you've cleared it and think, well, yes, I've done that. I've dealt with my parents, etc. And bang, there's a little bit more there, and it has to come out now. It's part of that is part of the process. Also, people are opening up and they're being hit by other people's energy and planetary energy and energy that's coming into the universe. All of these things are making people feel vulnerable and knocked around. For example, Earth has been battered by third dimensional energy. And the reason is because we've sent out Sputniks and spacecraft and all sorts of other junk into space that's made with third dimensional consciousness. And so it attracts from other universes and this universe third dimensional energy. That is going to stop at the cosmic moment on the 21st of December because there's an energy coming up from hollow Earth, the center of the planet, which will put a protection around the universe and around the planet. And so part of this will be eased after that date.
So when we meet those difficulties in our own life, should we just let it be and let it go through us, or?
Stay grounded. I think that there's a lovely thing that I try to do every morning, which is take my shoes and socks off and stand on the grass in bare feet and call in Archangel Sandalphon and send my roots down into the Earth Star chakra, my own personal one. And that's your own Garden of Eden. All your own potential is held there. And then send the energy right down into the center of Earth and connect to the love of Lady Gaia. Connect to her heartbeat. And when you do that, you start to feel belonging and welcome and protected while you're on Earth on this journey. And that helps you to deal with a lot of things.
It
Remember,
feels, yeah.
remember also that we've had this double Venus transit in 2004 and then again in 2008. And it was so powerful. It started to bring in the divine feminine energy, but because of the energy, it rent a rift between the worlds, created a tear in the veils. Now, that's such a strong energy that it allows much higher frequency energy into the planet and people aren't used to it. They get knocked around by great light. And so you can call in a special bright red energy from the center of the earth that is so powerful it has to come surrounded by golden wisdom and place it over your fifth dimensional aura so that you have a seventh dimensional protection as well.
Wow, when I'm a very earthy person, and I do love angels. Oh my goodness, I love them. And there is this when talking of fifth and seventh, then I just like, oh my goodness, where what is seventh? What is seventh?
Seventh is the angelic realms.
That's the angelic realms.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
we
at
have
a higher vibration than the third where we're at, or most of us are at.
Well, the Earth itself has now moved into the fourth dimension, which is when more people are opening their hearts and recognizing they're on a soul journey. Our aim is that every single person in the planet be in the fifth dimension by 2032. Now, that's when people are working for the highest good of everybody and each other. And so it's not about self anymore. It's cooperating. People all
Mm-hmm.
feel belonging and safe.
Mm-hmm.
And above is the seventh dimension, which is the angelic realms. Below is the hollow earth, the center of earth, the love center of the planet. And that's also seventh dimensional. So
Yeah.
we can reach up into the seventh dimension and down. And when we have our 12 chakras fully open, then we can do that and come into perfect balance and harmony. I'm not trying to claim I'm there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, but
That's
John Vallo speaks or other teachers about that there are amazing beings in the center of the earth. So there must be. It comes. We start to understand that we have also the universe inside of us, and there is another universe at the inside of the earth as there is outside. How do you see that? How are those linked together, and is that important to understand?
I don't think it's important to fully understand. I think it's important just to feel it
Mm-hmm.
because literally uh, everything is one. And when everything is one and you've moved beyond time and space, it is just is. And everyone can just be. And that's also where we're all going to be at.
So how do you define the unity and this oneness that a lot of people speak about?
Well, have you ever been out on a beautiful starry night, a warm starry night? Everything is silent and still, and you can see all the stars in a canopy above you. That's the sort of moment when you can feel the oneness, because you can feel that everything is just part of something huge and enormous beyond comprehension.
Mm-hmm. And that we are that is it does it also mean that what I feel in you, what I feel in myself is also in you and vice versa? I mean, is it
Yeah.
so our life, could we say that our life right now, whatever situation we're in, however difficult or easy it is really a reflection of of who we are? I mean,
But sure, everything, we create everything. We unconsciously call it in. So your aura is going around you and it's got all these symbols in it and it calls things in, things from past lives, things that you want to experience. And you have a choice
mhm,
because you can place wondrous golden qualities in that. In the keys to the universe, we give the 20 golden qualities. And these are very simple, but if you develop those qualities, and then your whole aura sings a symphony of harmony, and that's what you're radiating out. Now, if everybody in the world is radiating a symphony of harmony, and we all come together to sing in harmony, then that's oneness.
mhm. And
It's
isn't that
everything in
something?
harmony.
And isn't that something that we can experience in nature? It feels like our heart is very connected and gets very connected to nature and Mother Earth as we open up, and it feels like it's a very natural process.
Well, enlightenment and oneness are seventh dimensional experiences. Now, we can't live in the seventh dimension while we have a human body, but we can have moments of it. And so, if you're sitting by the ocean and you're watching a dolphin playing and you feel completely at one with everything,
Mhm.
you've had a seventh dimensional oneness moment.
Mm. Not a fifth.
Not a fifth, that's beyond the fifth.
Yeah. No, it feels like we keep on upgrading, and that's why I know a lot of people feel like me, and this is why it's so important. Is that okay? Now we're in 2012. We thought it would happen now, and no, it's going to be 2032, and no, it's not anymore fifth dimension. It's seventh. It's like
Well, we're
what's
fifth dimensional while we're on the planet, and that's what we're aiming at. And of course, it's a huge band. So you can be just stepping into the fifth dimension, or you can be living in it fully, or you can be right up here, a great master.
with the angels?
Well, the angels are seventh dimensional.
Seventh. Okay, is there something else that you would like to share with us? Some information that you're receiving as we speak, or something else that came to you recently that you feel is important to talk about in this particular conversation and discussion?
One of the things that's really, really important is the animals. And the portal of Yellowstone is opening. And now that is a vast, vast portal. And it's about to start opening and will continue to open to 2032. And it radiates a yellow energy. And the angel of animals, Archangel Failure, is also yellow. And as it radiates this energy, it helps people everywhere to understand that animals are on their own ascension pathway, and we really need to honor that. And it also helps the animals to ascend.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you very much for this beautiful conversation
Well, thank you.
and for being available. And maybe we'll have the opportunity to do another video in person in England or wherever
That would
you're
be lovely.
traveling. Thank you.
That would be great.
Of prophecies point at 2012, but you're writing a book about this golden age, this transition to the golden age, 2032. Oh my goodness, this is the new date. I mean, tell us why, how does this information come through, and what is it about?
Well, the information comes to me from my guide and from the angels. And what it's about is saying don't get locked into the forecasts of doom because, of course, we are going through a transition. This is like a house move. You've got to clear out your attic and clear out your cellar. And we're going through that in the world right now, which is why we've got uprisings and we've got the economy failing. Everything that's not in alignment with the new paradigm is collapsing. So all the dinosaur businesses that are based on greed and selfishness and just profit, they are all going to fade away so that the new can come in. And the new paradigm is about cooperation, working together, working for the planet. I mean, we've seen an example of the celebration and people working together in the Olympics and Paralympics. And that's what the future is about, joyously expressing ourselves, practicing for our excellence, instead of this business of putting people down and some haves and have nots. And this year we have this extraordinary cosmic moment, which is on the 21st. And I was 42 and I was in total despair and couldn't see a future and was getting divorced. And I threw myself into a chair despite the fact that I had no religious or spiritual background and said, if there's anything out there, help me. And you've got 1 hour. And that's when an angel came in to help me. And despite having no background in it, I knew it was an angel. And that was the starting point for something different happening in my life.
Very different. Yeah. You wrote many books on the orbs, Atlantis, the angels, and I'm very interested about your
Absolutely.
latest
Yeah,
book because a lot of people obviously talk about 2012. We are in 2012. A lot.
really enjoyed it.
And you are so popular. You're so well known in Europe. You know, I'm doing the Juicy Tour Europe. I'm traveling around Europe and interviewing a lot of people, and your name comes up very, very often.
Good.
How do you, how, why is that?
Because people like angels.
They do. We do, don't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. And because I'm not just into angels, I talk about unicorns, I talk about all the amazing energies coming in now, and what a fantastic opportunity we've got ahead of us, and not just this doom and gloom stuff that people are so keen on.
Yeah. Can you remind us how this happened to you and how you start receiving messages? Was it a long time ago?
It was a very long time ago. It was when.
Hello, Diana.
Hello, Lulu. How are you?
How are you doing?
I am perfect. Thank you.
You look radiant. Absolutely
Yeah,
radiant. I enjoy seeing you on Skype after meeting you in person. I remember all those beautiful videos that we have done that went all around the world, and we talked about angels and
that's right.
archangels, and it was a wonderful
Yes.
conversation.
It
So,
was.